Hey guys, welcome back to RL Design Innovation. Today we're going to do a fun project. What we're going to do is paint with the laser. What do I mean by that? Is we're going to layer an image multiple times on top of each other, and we're going to engrave with different styles, not only to improve the image look and feel, but also to add texture. I call it painting because it's just like priming a room and then adding colors to it. So let's sit down, I'll show you what I mean. Let's get going. Okay, this is a first pass using the Jarvis dithering method. As you can see, it's not bad. It looks pretty good. The dot there, that's just the wood itself. But you really don't have any texture. There's still, you can see, not sharpen it or anything like that. Let's look at if you add two passes to it. So this one is using Jarvis and a threshold. So we did two layers. You're starting to get a little texture in here. The look and feel is a little better. Not bad at all. But let's go one more step. So now we're adding three layers, a threshold, a stucky, and then the Jarvis, and then the cut. Look at the difference in the quality. You really can't, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can. You can see the texture in the image right there. But look at the quality. Look at the image itself. It just comes out so much better. That's with really three layers. Again, using the primer, which I call the threshold, and then the others. And we're going to go through it in a sec. Again, going back to this one. This was the first image. No texture. No really relief cutting on here. And then again, you go right here. And again, the camera doesn't do it justice. I mean, it looks so much better when in real life per se. It's a great image. So let's get started and see how we do that. Okay, so I loaded up Lightburn and I just put this image in here, and I'm just going to move it over here, just for argument's sake. We'll do it over here so I don't waste space. Now, this would be the first layer, which I call the primer. And what I do, I go in here and I set this for threshold. So what that means is that it just does the blacks and the whites, the real dark areas, to engrave those. I put it on a higher DPI, 304, and the speed I do 200 millimeters a second, and I do my laser at 20% power. So that's the first layer. And what we'll be doing, if you notice to the right over here, I set up 1, 2, 3 image layers and 1 cut layer. So what I do is I put the first layer there, and I just put a couple over here already. So let's see which this one is. We want to do the second layer. And what I do is I bring it over here. I go in here, and I'll make sure they're perfectly aligned in a second. So now I do the second layer. Okay, so the second layer, we'll bring that up to show you what we do then. From here, I do the stucky. Stucky is a high quality dithering, but it's a little quicker than Jarvis, whereas it's not as, I'll say, high detailed. Now, if you notice, the speed is 200, and I increase the power to 30%. Also, I didn't show you before, but in engraving, not cutting, what I have found is I do not have air assist on. I know it's a controversy. Some people say to have the air assist on all the time. Some people say don't. I've tried with the air assist on and with it off. And for engraving, I find you get better quality when you're engraving. So anyway, so this layer is the second layer. Again, 30% power, 200 speed, and again, a little higher, 304 DPI. Now, that's all there. So now I'm going to go to the third layer, which I call the final coat. So I'm going to put that on here. And let's see, let me just hide that guy for a sec. Move this so you can see it. And go in. Align it. And that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to show these. Let me show you what this is. This layer, I slow down the speed a little bit to 175, and I do max power 35%. Again, the same thing in the DPI, a higher DPI, 304. But as you notice, the progression of the power gets a little stronger as we go forward. Now again, this is Jarvis, this layer, so it's going to be a higher quality DPI and higher dithering. Okay, now to make sure these are all lined up, I highlight all of them. Okay, then I go over here, up here, to align everything to the left. I do that, and then I line everything to the right of that, to the top. So now they are all aligned, right? There you go. Actually, let me do it one more time because I forgot to show that. 1, and then 2. So now they're all aligned. The next thing is I bring my cut line over. Let's bring that over here. Let's zoom in again. Sorry for going back and forth, but it makes it easier. And again, I just make sure it's lined up. And there you go from there, okay? Okay, so what I did is I just added in a quick little video cam of the X240. So let me just update the overlay, make sure where we want to be. Yep, that's where we want to engrave, and I'm going to start engraving. And as this gets going, I will then speed it up when we... Now this will do all 4 layers separately. It's going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, the air assist is off for the first 3 layers, and I have it on for the cut. Okay, so it is now done. Let's take a look at it. Okay. Pen can take it out, but let me bring it up over here. Okay, I switched over the camera so you can see. There's the image. Again, you can see it has some depth to it. And if you wanted to increase the depth, the last layer where we're doing the Jarvis, just increase the power a little bit. Not much. I believe we were on 35, if I recollect. Yeah, we were on 35. Again, I'm using the 40-watt laser. Again, you may have to play with the powers and speeds depending on the laser that you use. But let's go back for a sec just to look at the powers and speeds I used. Okay, so if you look at the speeds, the first layer, again, I call this the primer. So the first one I do is threshold. It's just hard blacks, hard whites. I did this maximum power 20 at a speed of 200 millimeters a second. Again, no air assist on the first 3 layers, just on the cut. A second layer, again, just to reiterate, 230, so I beefed it up about by 10 on the power. And this one is Stucky and again, 304 is dots per inch. And then the final layer, which will be your final coat, I did 35, and I lowered the speed to 175. I probably could have increased the power a little bit to get a little more darker. You know, so again, it really depends. Let me just put that up. So if you can see here, you could see right over here. I could have darkened these up a little bit just by increasing the power, but I thought they came out really good. About a 1.8 millimeter basswood piece of plywood, nothing crazy. Let's go over here right there. So there you go. What was the topic today? Instead of doing just one engraving, do slow integrals of different powers and different speeds to build the details, build the depthness and richness of your engraving. And by not having, at least what I have experimented with, not having the air assist on while you're engraving, you don't get soot pushed around, which happens, you know, if you have air on. And I only use the air when I'm on the cutting. So hope you learned something today. The next video I'm excited to do, it's going to show you how to use within Lightburn the trace capability, but to be able to make jigs real easy by using the trace capability. Till then, thank you. Please subscribe and have a great day. Thanks so much.